Below that, we've got our audio settings. At the very top, let's go to volume levels. Now at the top, you see a snapshot of the current volume settings of where I'm at now. What I mean by that is phone calls are pretty low, music's pretty low, FM radio's pretty high, but if I were to turn on the FM radio and lower it via the buttons, then I would see that represented here as well. So this isn't carved in stone, this is just where it's at currently. If I want to just go in there and I know that I want music louder, great, I can raise that up, hit save, and that would be my new setting for the music source until, of course, if I were to adjust my volume listening to music, then that would be represented here. Audio mixing level and background volume level. The way to think about these, audio mixing is how much does the music in the background lower when somebody goes to talk. Right now, at 25%, it's very low. So if I'm listening to music, I'm talking with somebody else via DMC, then somebody goes to talk, that music's really going to plummet to the background. If I don't want it to plummet so far, then say I could have it go here. That person talks, the music's only going to go down somewhat a little bit. I like it to plummet to the background when someone's talking. Background volume, now this is, in general, what is the ratio between intercom and music? So if I have it at 90, I'm only going to ever get maximum 90% volume if I'm around a group and we're connected via DMC. If I want that to be 100%, meaning there's no variation between my music and intercom volumes, that would be the case. Or some people want it to sit, kind of in the background and still plummet more when somebody talks, but have a maximum of 70% if they're around other connected headsets. Let's get that back up there. System announcements, that's obvious. You can either have the system talk to you and let you know what's going on or not, and then at what volume would you like that to be the case. The next one down is automatic volume. Now, automatic volume is something that all Cardo models have. It's off by default, and if it's on, first off, when you toggle that switch, it requires you to do a power cycle on the unit. But if it's on, then the system itself will detect ambient noise and automatically raise or lower the volume for you based on the ambient noise. Medium, I like that setting. If you have it a quiet bike, then perhaps you would put that setting on high. Or if you have a very loud bike, perhaps you would make that setting a little bit more stubborn by setting the sensitivity to low. Let's go ahead and just leave it off for demo purposes. Microphone sensitivity. This is the sensitivity of your microphone. Medium, again, works for most cases, but if you'd like again, if you have a quiet bike and you want it to be a little bit more sensitive because you have a quiet environment, then you can raise the sensitivity of the microphone. If you have a loud bike or a loud environment, you can kind of lower the sensitivity of it, make it a little bit more stubborn to your voice. Now, with models that have natural voice operation, PackTalk Edge being one of those, you'll see the option for voice control. By default, that's on. That is that awesome capability to say, hey Cardo, volume up, for example, or hey Cardo, music on. If for some reason you don't want that, you can just turn that off. That would completely deactivate natural voice operation. And the one below that is how sensitive is the system and microphone to those commands. That's something that you can play with if you're not having very much success with it and go from there. Advanced audio settings, let's go there. Intelligent noise block, on by default. What this does, when this is on, the system is doing an incredible job at filtering out background noise that's not meant to be transmitted. In short, it's going to work to make sure that it's removing any sort of background noise and only transmitting the noise of your voice for intercom, phone calls, and such like that. As a tip, if you're using the voice recording feature, sometimes that's a good idea to leave that off so you can pick up some of that ambient, background noise for a more interesting recording. Next one down, smart intercom volume. When this is on, which it is by default, the system is doing its best to level the volume of anybody else in your group so that one person doesn't come across super loud, the other is very quiet. When this is on, it's trying to do its best to average out the volume of all the voices for a better experience. And the bottom one is off by default, two-way radio integration. That's for integrating two-way radio input into an active mobile phone call.